Good evening and welcome back to yet another thought-provoking Food for Soul session. We are at the second episode of our live cast, Secrets of the Soul, Unlocking the Mystery. In the first episode, which was held last week, we saw a participation of more than 8,000 viewers across the globe. This is an impressive statistic and can be perceived as a reflection of the eagerness people around the world have in wanting to know more about the soul and the mysteries hidden behind it. My name is Vivi, and together co hosting this livecast is Tiru. Today, we will be presenting another exciting and intriguing episode called Soulmates and Soul Search. And over to you, Tiru.
Thank you, Vivi, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Thiru, and it's my honor to be hosting this show alongside Vivi and to have a wonderful speaker who will share some of his valuable insights with regards to the topic discussion today. For the benefit of those who are joining for the first time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, V.K. Somakumar. V.K. Somakumar, a Chennai-based industrialist and entrepreneur, is also a heartfulness meditation practitioner and trainer with more than 35 years experience. Somakumar has vast experience in conducting heartfulness training workshops and seminars worldwide in both government and corporate organizations. An engineer by profession, his keen interest in science and spirituality enabled him to explore and delve deep into the mysteries of consciousness and creation. Somakumar is very passionate and serious in seeking answers to the meaning of life and existence. He has authored 2 books based on his spiritual experiences and connection of human presence with nature. As a heartfulness trainer, his quest to unravel the mystical and mysterious phenomena of the universe still continues.
Welcome back to the show, Somakumar. We are delighted to have you with us to probe further into the mysteries of the soul.
Hello, Vivi and Thiru. I'm equally excited to be here again to share with you all some insights on soul, especially focusing on the aspect of soulmates and soul search. It is indeed a very interesting and important topic. In fact, it is a mandate on human beings to search for the soul and the soulmate in this birth. If we don't find the soul and align with it in this life, we become like a mechanized toy, spring-loaded or electronic controlled toys roaming around the world without a clear destination and purpose in life. For us to understand, for us to search for the soul, we have to gather as much information as possible from all available sources so that we get an idea about this mysterious identity, mysterious entity. That is not the end of the story. We have to translate the information into our life experience. We have to actualize the experience by practice. Now let us track the soul in its journey so that we get an idea of its tricks and mysteries. We have, in the last episode, we saw that we learned that the soul leaves the body at the time of death. How it goes, where it goes. There are so many studies, innumerable studies have been done on this subject by researchers and scientists. One such study is actually expressed in a book titled Life After Life by Raymond A. Moody. 14 million copies of this book have been sold from its publishing date to up to the year 2016. The author has actually got 150 NDE cases with him. NDE cases means near-death experience cases with him. Near-death experience is the experience of a person who was declared clinically dead, but he came back within 1 or 2 minutes into the body and the body became alive and he started his life again. This experience of 1 or 2 minutes is called near-death experience. The author actually conducted many interviews all over the world, and he has recorded the experiences and codified these experiences into case studies to be published in that book. There are amazing experiences given by the people who are interviewed, and with a lot of common and similar experiences which are not under the purview of accidents. They are not accidentally given these reports. It is so common and so similar. Based on these experiences, a general sequence of events that are happening at the time of death was arrived at. The amazing sequence it goes like this. A man is nearing death, rather he is dying. In this process, he reaches a stage where he is experiencing extreme physical discomfort and mental stress. And he is hearing at that moment the doctor declaring that the patient died. At this moment, he starts hearing a noise. For some people, it was a sweet noise like ringing the bells. And for others, it was a very harsh sound, like the movement of a truck. At the same time, he starts experiencing a movement. He's actually traveling at a very high speed. And he's experiencing this. And he's actually in a lying down position. And the movement is like the head is moving first. In a reverse direction, he's moving very fast through a dark tunnel for somebody, through a dark caves for somebody else. So after some time, he actually comes out of the body and he is still in the vicinity. And he is actually watching his own body as a spectator. He can see the doctors working on the body to revive him. And he sees his wife and children, they are weeping at the loss of their loved one. But he's trying to console them. He's trying to tell them. But he has no body. He's actually trying to console them, trying to communicate through the heart-to-heart connection. It's a kind of telepathic communication that he's trying to do. But the relatives, the close ones on the ground, they don't respond because they don't hear it. They don't know the language. So this is, and after some time what happens is he feels a pull, and that pulling sensation tries to take him away from the area of death, from the place of death. And he feels that, his body is like, there is no shape. His body is like a cloud and it is filling the whole room. And because of this pulling, he actually comes out of the room and he is into the corridor. And the emergency bells is ringing because the patient is in a critical stage. And a nurse is actually running from the other end of the corridor towards him, trying to go into the room. So that nurse actually is nearing him and he feels that, she may hit him because he is actually filling the whole corridor. But this lady, she passes through him and he doesn't know, nothing happened to him. And she also didn't realize that she has passed through the soul. And the soul actually is just going out of the corridor into the open area. And then he sees some spirits are coming to help him. And these spirits are actually his relatives, those ones who died before him. And he moves further. And when he moves further, he experiences the presence of a very warm spirit, a powerful being, a being of light. This being comes nearer to him and he's asking a question. And that question was to evaluate his own life. And the being, actually the powerful being, helps him by showing a panoramic view of his own life. He sees in a giant screen whatever has happened in his life right from his childhood up to this moment of his death. It is actually not seeing his life, he was experiencing it. He was living through his own life in that process. And after this, he's still moving further. And suddenly he sees an invisible demarcation, an invisible line. And instinctively he realizes that he cannot cross over. He is not permitted to cross over onto the other side. He is supposed to go back to earth, but he doesn't want to go back. Overwhelmed by the joy, peace, love, and a beautiful ambience there. He doesn't want to leave from that place. Suddenly he realizes that he's back into his physical body. So this is the experience that is declared by most of the people who were interviewed by the author of this book. And the beauty of it is, all this took place only 1 or 2 minutes. Now I am reminding you back to the first episode where they were telling that time is an illusion. Here this gentleman has experienced it. 1 or 2 minutes on the other world is equal to 50, 60 years in this plane. So this is one experience conducted by, he's a medical doctor who wrote this book, and he had these experiences from all over the world. Now it is comparatively easy to conduct an interview of a person who has come back from death but alive, sitting before you. But when you want to go further into the journey of the soul, where the person doesn't come back, he's traveling from the initial 1 or 2 minutes. This technique cannot be used there because you don't get that person back for you to interview. So there they use other techniques, hypnotic and regression techniques. This is what they use for finding out the journey of the soul. The technique used by the experts is they are actually dividing the mind into 3 consecutive circles, concentric circles. The first layer is the conscious level, the outer world. The intermediate layer is actually the subconscious level. And the innermost level circle is the superconscious stage. The superconscious level is actually the highest center of power of the self. The innermost layer of the superconscious stage is actually an expression of our higher power. Superconscious stage level is actually our real identity, augmented by the subconscious, which contains memories of our many alter egos adopted by us in the previous births in various bodies. Superconscious may be the soul. The superconscious is actually the highest center of our wisdom and perspective. And all the information that we take about life after death, it is coming from this source of intelligent energy. So they actually they use hypnosis where the people are not dreaming, they are not hallucinating. Hallucination doesn't come by trance, by simply diving into a trance. It doesn't come like that. When a person is in a trance, in a hypnotic trance, what happens is the brain waves actually slows down from its beta level and still continues to go lower down through the alpha state of meditation and enters the theta stage of various frequencies. And the theta stage is actually the stage of hypnosis. And delta stage is actually that of deep sleep state. In deep sleep state, the brain sends messages into the subconscious, into the unconscious mind, and the theta actually cleanses that through dreams. At the theta level, the advantage for the hypnotic people is the conscious level is alive at the theta level, which means they can send messages, they can receive messages with the memory channels open. That is the advantage of hypnotizing a person to the theta level and trying to get messages from him and trying to send messages to him. In hypnosis, people report what they see, the scenes that they see, and the conversation that they hear in the unconscious mind as if they are seeing it. They don't add any color to it. They just express, they just tell you what they see there. Experts find a lot of consistency in the narrations of these people who are under trance. They actually take these people by hypnosis into their childhood first. Then they actually use hypnotic techniques again to take them through time into their previous birth and into the spirit world. That is how they actually use this technique. The hypnotist gradually rise the level, the subconscious level of the hypnotic state into the superconscious state of hypnotic states. That is how they work on the body, on the people who are actually regressed into the previous births and into the spirit world. When the superconsciousness level expands, they get more clarity about the spiritual pathways. So after coming out of the tunnel or the cave, they are actually on the initial gateway to the spirit world. Many of them feel as if they are homecoming. And at that moment, a guide comes and takes charge of the situation. The guide actually takes them into the various next steps. So at this stage, there are actually different kinds of souls are coming. The souls are actually graded as the initial souls, intermediate souls, and advanced high level souls. There's a segregation like that. And there are displaced souls also. Displaced souls they are not actually matching with the mainstream. They are souls which are actually damaged sometimes by cruel actions, sometimes their reluctance to come back from the earthly plane. So they actually are segregated because there is reluctance for them to enter the spirit world because of their attachment to the earthly plane. So they are actually segregated, and the guides give special attention to them to bring them back. Then the orientation stage comes. There are different stages through which these souls pass, and they are actually getting educated there before they are sent back to the earth. So orientation is a center for healing and rehabilitation. And a lot of severe or very strong counseling is happening there. The guides are actually giving them advice, giving them an exposition of their previous birth just ended. And the guides are actually very creative and very loving, very caring souls. And they are very caring, but at the same time, they are very probing also. They will ask everything about you, what happened to you in the previous birth. They will ask all those things. But you cannot lie to them because they have got telepathic capabilities. Even if you lie, they will know what you are keeping inside you as a secret. They'll find it out. So from this orientation stage, they are taken to the transition stage. Transition stage is actually after orientation, they are taken to a central port. From there, they will be sent to various designated places. Depending on the level of the vibration of the souls, they will be taken to various clusters. That's the transition stage is that. And there, when they come there, they have got an inkling of homecoming again. I'm going to meet my close relatives. They have a feeling like that. And then the placement stage. They are actually taken to the various designated places where they are in clusters. And in each cluster, they have got souls who are very dear to them, who are very close to them. Their vibratory levels match. And they discuss about many things, their previous birth. And actually what is happening is in that stage, in that placement area, this cluster of souls, they discuss even about their next birth. And they even discuss about who is going to play what role, because they are all going to go into clusters only. It's like a drama troupe planning about their stage performance. So you'll play this role, you'll play this role. So in the previous birth, probably somebody was your sister, and the next birth, that person can be your wife. That person can be your friend. They decided there, as to what role I'm going to play. And that is how they come down. But when they come down, of course, all these things go awry because of the vibratory level of the earth. That is another story. So the guides, of course, they play a very key role there in that at that level. Now again, there is a life selection. There is a process called life selection. These souls are supposed to come back to earth for their progress, further progress. They cannot progress there. That's only a kind of reassessment stage and a kind of rejuvenation stage. That is what is happening in the spirit world. The souls are actually rejuvenated, they are educated, and they are made to understand their own stage. Self-assessment is what is being done there. So they can select their life. And the higher souls, they will help them. Even they show them a giant screen where various levels of life is shown. They can take this one I want, that one I want, like that. They can select that, and that is how they select their birth and then come down to earth again. Because without a life in the earth, there is no progress for them. So that is the stage. There's another stage where they can select choice of the body. They can select the body also, because the guide will educate them as to how to select a body for them. Because depending on the role that they have selected for their next life, they have to select a body also. And the body also plays a very important role for their progress in the earthly plane. For example, a soul may even select a body with a disease. Because in its wisdom, especially with the assistance of the guide, it understands that if I select a body with a disease, most of my spiritual diseases will get cured because of the disease in the body. So it has that wisdom at that point of time. So this is the whole story of a soul, yeah, which is actually passing through these stages in the spirit world. Now, it's a very integral part of the soul to select a soulmate there. It is actually part of the preparation of the soul to leave the spirit world and to enter into the earth level. So it's a very integral part at that level to select a soulmate there. But the soulmate need not be your wife or your spouse or your friends or relatives, even though that is the case in most of the time. It happens like that. A soulmate is the one who has got maximum impact on you in your earthly life. The person who is having maximum impact on you is the soulmate, is your soulmate. But of course, in the beginning, what happens is, depending on your vibratory level, the soulmate's vibratory level also will almost match that to help you. But gradually what happens is, when you grow spiritually, the person who is actually giving the most impact in your life is the person who guides you in your spiritual life to reach the spirit world and to be there permanently. So that person becomes your soulmate at that stage. And finally, God becomes your soulmate when you reach the divine levels. So this is now you have actually seen how the ancestors during the first episode, how they actually tried to track the soul and what method they used in finding out the soul. They used meditation techniques, penances. That is how they actually found out some secrets of the soul. In this session, in this part of the episode, you have found out how these neurologists, psychiatrists, and hypnotics, regression persons, how they use what technique and to reveal some of the secrets of the soul. But the beauty, and next session, of course, you will find what is the understanding of the modern science about the soul secrets. The beauty of it, the whole thing is, with all these attempts, with all these studies, the soul is still tricking with us. It has got a lot of secrets hidden there. So this is going to be an ongoing process for us. And again, I'll tell you that these are only experiences of other people. For us to understand what is our soul, what is inside us, we have to gather all this information, understand this information, and actualize it by practice.
Thank you, Somakumar, for sharing with us such profound knowledge on the subject of soulmates and soul search. Now it is Q&A time. Once again, we were overwhelmed by the number of questions from viewers. We will attempt to go through as many questions as time permits. As many have asked similar questions, we will not be able to mention the names of those who asked these questions. So the first question will be, how can we search for our soul and find it?
By gathering the information and using the information to actualize that into your life experience by practicing. You have to practice these techniques, whichever is suitable according to your skill level. Practice it sincerely, continuously, and aiming at the soul. You have to focus your attention onto the soul, do the practice, you will reach there, you will find it.
Okay, the second question, I think you have covered it in the talk that you just gave, where the soulmate not necessarily is the spouse, and it can just be anyone which has the maximum impact in our life. So there's just an extension to this question. How do we identify who is our soulmate?
Again, you have to be more sensitive. You have to develop your sensitivity by practice. You have to change your vibratory level to see the reality behind you. So when you become super conscious, that houses your real identity, that houses the reality also. So you can see the reality of anything, of a person or of an incident or even the universe. You have to raise your vibratory level by practice. Again, it is coming back to practice of a system.
And with the practice, we are able to be connecting with our soulmates.
Yes, because you'll realize, you'll recognize the soulmates. Not only that, you can, when your vibratory level is going to the superconscious level, you can see around whoever is around you. You can identify them as the souls who are with you in the spirit world.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the explanation. In a marriage, which is said to be made in heaven, there should be perfect harmony and bliss throughout. But it's not so these days. Why? Can you give us some input?
As I was explaining in my talk, we were all there in the spirit world as clusters. And there, during our discussion, we have decided as to who is going to play what role in the earth. We have decided there. In the heaven, it is decided that you are going to be my wife or you are going to be my husband. When you come down to the earth, the whole vibration changes. You are influenced by the vibratory level of the earth, which is very, very low. And on top of it, the other kind of vibratory levels, other kind of emotions like hatred and doubt, all these things are crowded into your psyche because of the vibratory pattern of the earth. And the whole thing goes topsy-turvy. What we promised there, what we understood there, is not here when you come down. So the equations change. Even though it is arranged, agreed in the heaven, you forget all those things when you come down here. So the problem is not keeping our divinity in the earthly plane. That is the problem. That is the problem that is in the married life also.
Is it possible for us to recognize our family members from our past life? And if so, is there a way to determine this connection?
Same answer what you asked in the previous question. You have to raise your sensitivity.
Yeah.
You have to raise your vibratory level. You must be able to see the reality. Then you can find out everything.
Is it, can you give us a little bit of insight? How do we raise that sensitivity and what practice, to fine tune this kind of abilities?
Normally, when you come down to earthly plane, your focus is on the outer world. The attractions of the outer world, which are actually vibration-wise very low. You have to turn to the instrument which has got the maximum vibratory level, the superconscious level in your system, and that is the heart. When you turn your attention to your heart, and when you try to merge with the vibratory level there, you slowly become super conscious and your sensitivity increases and you are able to find out the intricacies and the secrets of the soul as well as the universe.
Thank you. A viewer has written in to say that his father died 3 weeks ago and that since then he has noticed a fragrance around his home. In this fragrance, an indication of the presence of the departed soul.
Maybe and may not be. Because the souls can give such indications of their presence through fragrance, through minor sounds and all. They are capable of doing it. But it can be due to physical reasons also. Somebody would have kept some perfume somewhere or some flowers is there, from some trees, some perfume, some odor can come. So you cannot decide this way or that way until and unless again you open your eye, the heart's eye.
Does a departed soul depend on the prayer of its loved ones?
They don't depend on us because, as I was explaining, there are guides there in the spirit world who take them, who take care of them with a lot of love and concern. Their role is actually to enhance the knowledge and the vibration of the souls which are crowding there. So they don't need any assistance, in fact. But if we pray for them with a lot of love and concern, that vibration also will add to their existing health. That is possible. And not only that, normally people do many rituals and all at this stage, to please the departed souls. So there it depends on with what conscience, with what mindset you are doing it. If you are doing it with a lot of love, it's only to satisfy for your love. If you are doing it, it is, of course, it is good because you are satisfying your eagerness to show your love. There is nothing wrong in that. But if it is out of fear, some people do it out of fear also. They think that the departed soul may attack them or may harm them if you don't do your duty. But it's not actually a duty. The departed soul is going with so much love and so much compassion for others. It's not the human being who is living here. When the human being and the soul leaves the body of a human being, it becomes almost divine. It is actually a lot of wisdom is there in that, and a lot of compassion is there. It will never attack his or her own relatives or wife or children. It will never think about it. It is our fear which actually makes us believe that they are going to attack us. That's the wrong approach. With a lot of love, you can do rituals. Nothing wrong.
So it's done emotionally. So what we should do is let go the departed one with love.
Yes. Pray for them once and leave it.
Thank you. Can a newly departed soul enter a living person and merge with his or her soul?
A newly departed soul will not think of coming back to earth and enter into somebody's body. As I was again explaining, once they go there, they don't want to come back because of the ambience there, because of the overwhelming ambience there. But normally what happens is this displaced souls, like people who have committed suicide, they are actually not reaching that plane of the spirit world. They are hovering around the atmosphere of the earth itself. They are in search of a body for their further evolution. They can try this. They can try to enter another body because they desperately need a body for their spiritual progress, further progress. So there it is possible only under certain circumstances, and that also cannot be permanent. They can have a temporary hold of a body, provided that person is scared of souls. In a moment when somebody is really scared of something, there is a vacuum created inside, and that space can be utilized by these souls, departed souls, who are actually not reaching there. They are neither there nor here. That kind of a condition. So temporarily, for a few moments, for maybe 1 or 2 days, they can hold that. Because the soul which is already occupying that place, that body, will not allow that. It is against nature's law. It can easily push that the other soul out. Nature also will help. So there is a possibility, but that is not a really dangerous thing. If you keep your courage, and it is your domain, it's your house, you don't allow anybody to occupy that, encroach that and occupy it. So if you have that courage, you can push that soul out. Otherwise, also nature will take care of.
Thank you for that. Okay, we still have a little time, and I'm just going to pick up 1 or 2 questions from the live viewers. Do we have guidance from souls of the other side while we are living in earth?
Yes, I talked about the guides who come there to receive you. When somebody is in hypnosis, if you feel not an incarnate, if you feel the presence of a soul, that is the guide who is actually watching you. There is sometimes when people are in hypnosis, they feel that somebody is in the room. They will send a message through their active mind to the person who is doing this trance on him. It will say that I feel somebody is sitting in my room. They will say that like that. That means it is their guide. The guide will be watching you not only when you come there, they'll be watching you here also. Sometimes they're called guardian angels and sometimes guides. So they have an eye on you even when you are living here. And sometimes what happens is the soulmates also will help you like that. So help is there for us. Help is there, but only thing is we have to listen to their advice for us to evolve. And even there, when you are up there, the guides actually is trying to help you always. They actually always they help you, provide that you are ready to try. You are ready to try their advice. If you are not ready to try the advice, they will ignore you. If you are not ready to try the advice, you will not progress also. So they are ready to help. There are guides who help us even when we are in the earthly plane.
Okay. Another question
Okay.
from the viewer, is suffering or disease, is it a path to higher vibration?
If you have really heard my talk, you have selected the suffering and disease when you are there before departing from the spirit world. You have selected this slot for you with all the wisdom that you have there. So any disease, any misery that is coming to you is actually a boon which you have selected for your own evolution. But the problem is you miss that wisdom when you are here. Then it becomes a misery or suffering. Otherwise, it's only a hell. The famous statement is actually all the physical ailments are cure for spiritual diseases.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next question we have. Biologically, we know how twins, triplets, and quadruplets are born. When it comes to their souls, are they born by some similarity that they remain so close to each other? This question, I have to tell you, Somakumar, that I personally also would want to know because I'm a twin.
Okay.
And we have similar beliefs and we can feel for each other even when we are apart. Sometimes we tend to say the same thing at the same time, at the same second. How's that?
Yeah, it's very clear because you have come from the same cluster of souls. You have decided there itself that from the same cluster you have come and you have decided the slot where to be born, with what kind of traits to be born. So naturally there will be a lot of similarity, and on top of it there will be biological contributions also of the DNA and all. So it is very natural that you have got similar views. You are actually almost like one person. No, it's quite natural. It happens.
Means, can your twin be your soulmate too?
It can be, provided that person has got an impact on you in helping you to your higher spiritual goals. So it can be, but it may not be also.
Okay, so it depends on the vibration if we are both in the same vibratory level.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What happens in a heart transplant? Does the soul go along with the heart to the recipient?
Yes. The soul is always in the heart. It goes wherever the heart is taken. That is his abode. Its abode. So again, what happens is there is a beautiful book by the name Heart's Code, written by one gentleman called by name Paul Pearsall. And in that book, if you read it, it's very fascinating book. The transplant, when it is done from one person to another person, many traits of the previous person comes to this person. A person who was not smoking in his whole life, at the age of 40 he starts smoking. Some of the very humorous thing is there. He actually calls his wife by some other name. That because the name of the previous person's wife. So to that extent, these traits are transferred along with the soul. Whatever the soul has acquired in the other person's body, that is also being carried. That is called impressions. Those impressions are actually leading your life. So that also will come out. in that transplanted body.
Okay. So, how can I incorporate this knowledge of soul search to improve my existing life?
Your whole existing life depends on what the soul is doing for you. Whole. So when you are sensitive to your soul, it gives you the right direction, it gives you the right energy to achieve your goals. Even your goal is decided by the soul properly. If you don't, as I was telling in the beginning statement itself, if you don't align with your soul, you become a mechanized toy. You have no decision making power. Your impressions will lead your life. That will carry your life. That will mislead your life. That is the situation. So once you start realizing your soul, once you start getting aligned with your soul, your life changes.
Okay.
Okay, in the interest of time, we will ask the last question that we have from our live viewer. How can we avoid rebirth and stay in the spirit world only?
When you can match the vibration of the spirit world and maintain it, then you don't have to come back. The guides don't have to educate you or rehabilitate you. So when you match the vibration of the spirit world, even when you are alive in this earthly plane, then you don't have to come back. You are liberated from rebirth. So it's a matter of developing the vibration when you are here in this earth by doing spiritual practice. So with this statement, I think as I promised you, I'll take you to the hands-on stage of the practice. Practice is again and again, I'm telling you, repeating practice. Now you are actually trying to reach this level of search for the soul in this practice. Like in the last episode, I will give you relaxation commands. You actually gradually, in relaxation commands, you are actually withdrawing yourself from the material, the conscious level. The material world is actually left behind you slowly, and you dive into your heart inside, into your inner world, and from there you are actually trying to reach out to your own soul. First thing that you do is avoid your thoughts when it comes. Focus your attention onto the soul which is there in the heart. When you do this, when you avoid thoughts, you are actually leaving subconscious also from your mind. Then you focus onto the heart and you are actually focusing on the soul. Your search has started. If you are really earnest and if you are really meticulous in doing this practice regularly, your journey, real journey starts towards your soul. So we will start now. I'll make the command, relaxation command. Okay. Sit comfortably and close your eyes very softly and very gently. Imagine that the energy of Mother Earth is entering through your feet and is helping you relax your toes and feet. Slowly allow this energy to move upward through your ankles and lower legs. While it is moving upward, try to feel how the cells, the muscles, the bones it covers are relaxing. The calf muscles are relaxed. Let this energy flow upwards to your knees. Let it imbue that. Let that energy move into your thigh muscles. Feel the lightness in relaxation. The areas touching the chair or the ground, including your back, think that they are getting relaxed. Observe how this energy moving in the abdominal area and chest area is helping us relax. Let the energy move into your shoulders. See how they are melting away, becoming lighter. Let this energy move to your biceps and elbows, forearms, your wrists, your palms and fingers, thumbs, all getting relaxed. Imagine the body between your shoulders and toes is completely relaxed. Feel this relaxation in your neck muscles, your facial muscles, forehead, and your ear lobes. See how gently and softly your eyes are closed. Crown of your head all getting relaxed. From the crown of your head, top of the head till your toes, top to toe, feel, feel this complete relaxation. Having done this, gently bring your attention towards the heart and incorporate this practice of meditation on the heart. That there is divine light present in the heart and I am meditating on it. The energy that is pulling me inward within my heart. Remain still and quiet and slowly become absorbed in yourself. Continue this meditation.
Thank you, Somakumar, for giving us a hands-on experience of heartfulness meditation. For those who wish to know more about heartfulness meditation, you can locate our heartfulness.
With this, we come to the conclusion of today's episode. We once again thank Somakumar for deepening our understanding of the mysteries of the soul. Please join us again on our third episode on Saturday, 6th June, for another session where Somakumar will speak on the subject of soul and quantum science. Thank you everyone for joining us. See you all next week. Stay safe and good night.
See you on 6th June. Good night. Thank you.